Hey guys, Desolate Magic here with today's spoilers. I have been warned by about 100 people that there's some batshit crazy stuff in this one. I have no reason to disbelieve them. So first up, we got Arni slays the troll. Wait a minute, we got Harold, we got Arnold. All we need is like John and Steve and the gang's all here. Like, are these even Norwegian names? I'm saying that sarcastically. Like 1,000 of you left a comment. Harold with an A actually is original. I don't care. Shut up. Nobody cares. So this saga is a 2-drop. Target creature you control fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. So force fight for 2. Not bad, but it is a true fight. None of that BS, deal damage equal to your power. Then number 2, add 1 red mana. Put 2 1/1 counters on up to 1 target creature you control. So that's random and arbitrary. Although like 2 counters on turn 2 or 3 or something, that's no joke. And then an extra mana, hey. So then we got 3, which is you gain life equal to the greatest power among creatures you control, which could be pretty darn good. So this is just, 3 random, seemingly unrelated things, but they're all kind of nice. So it's like, is that motivation enough to put it in a deck? That's the problem I always have with these. Next up, Master Skald, a 5-cost dwarf warrior. When Master Skald enters the battlefield, you may exile a creature card from your graveyard. If you do, return target artifact or enchantment card from your graveyard to your hand. So, late game you'd probably be able to do this, and the guy costs 5, so I don't think he's good, though. Probably purely a draft card. Next up, Contagious Fear. We kind of did need a bigger sweeper than 2, even though they're kind of doubling down on 2 in this set. So here it is. 4-cost, double black, sorcery. Choose a creature type. Each creature other than the chosen type gets -3/-3 until end of turn. So yeah, good old-fashioned sweeper for 4 in black. We really did need this. Now, if you think this and all the 2s are going to stop Scoot Swarm, you're completely and utterly wrong. They could print 10 more of these. The card still needs to be banned. Next up, Dwarven Hammer. Really, you're just naming it Dwarven Hammer. All right. Are we going to see a vehicle that's just called Boat? So 3-cost red artifact equipment. When Dwarven Hammer enters the battlefield, you may pay 2. If you do, create a 2/1 red dwarf berserker creature token, then attach the dwarf hammer to it. Equipped creature gets +3/+0 and has trample. Okay, because we needed another Embercleave in the game. Thanks for that. And then equip 3. So I hate this. Next up, Return Upon the Tide. It's a 5-cost, and it's a sorcery in black. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. If it's an elf, create 2 1/1 green elf warrior creature tokens. And then Foretell 4. Never did like these, but it's better than it cost in 2 or 3, I'll tell you that. Next up, my gosh, are any of these in English? You know what? That's flavor text. It's a 5/5 vanilla elf warrior. Wow. For 5. I mean, this is the definition of filler. Next up, we've got Protectora Gloriosa, which is Glorious Protector, or as they say in English, apparently, Glorious Guardian. Yeah, I don't think there is a word for guardian in Spanish, so, I'm just having fun here. So it's a 4-cost Angel Cleric, so, that's going to be hot. Angels, Clerics, just Angels, Angel Cleric mix, all Clerics where some of the Clerics happen to be Angels. 1, 2, or 3 of them have got to be a thing. This says Flash, which is always fun, even though it's only a 3/4. It's flying, obviously, and when it enters the battlefield, exile any number of target non-angel creatures you control until Glorious Guardian leaves the battlefield. Oh, that's kind of fun. And then Foretell 3. So you have to get her killed to get him back. So this is purely just to get her on board wipe. And I mean, for 4 mana, even for 3 mana with Foretell, you are not fitting a board wipe in on top of that mana. I mean, nobody playing white, it just has like 8 or 9 mana regularly. So that's not going to happen, but defensive, yeah. I mean, why not? I'm worried about Foretell on creatures, though. Even though this is clearly Foretell for the ability, it's like if you just sit there, I'm going to pay 2 and tuck it, pay 2 and tuck it, pay 2 and tuck it. What the hell do you have in the battlefield defending against the attacking other player? You can't just sit there and spend 2 on everything, I'm just saying. Next up, we've got Battle Mammoth. It's 5-cost 6/5, creature elephant with trample, and whenever a permanent you control becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, you may draw a card. Utterly ridiculous. We already saw this card, but I just wanted to outline it because of how truly absurd it is. Because green already has enough card draw to add on top of it, oh, you got 10 creatures in play. I'm going to try to blow away one of them. Haha, I get to draw a card. Screw you. At this point, if they want anything that resembles fairness, they're going to have to ban about 50% of the cards that say draw a card in the color green right now in Standard. No joke, it's gotten that out of control. So next up, we got Ravenous Lindworm. It's a 6-cost worm, 6/6, and when it enters battlefield, you gain 4 life. That's got to be a functional reprint of something else. That looks awfully familiar. Next up, we've got Luchar por Skemfar. Okay, that's basically fight for Skemfar, but they say struggle for Skemfar. Maybe that is the more direct translation. I don't know. None of these match up in this damn set. So it's 4-cost sorcery. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Then that creature fights up to one target creature you don't control. Foretell 1. 1 plus 2 don't add up to 4. Okay, unless you're a liberal. So not only is this an amazingly good card, but I mean, Foretell 1? So next up we got Golpe de Stenosa, also known as Disdainful Stroke. I don't think anybody's ever played this. They keep trying and it's just not good. So it's a 2-cost universal counterspell, except it only targets spells with CMC 4 or greater. On the stack, not on the card, on the stack. So it's actually not CMC, it's just the spell's mana cost, period. People get this wrong all the time. You cast Stone Coil Serpent for X equals 5, you can counter it with this. X equals 3, you cannot counter it with this. I assure you that's how it works. Look it up if you don't believe me. But also, yeah, this card's garbage. Next up, Litjara Mirror Lake. It's one of these again. So, let's see, what do you pay? 5, tap it, sack it, great. Create a token that's a copy of target creature, because we just needed a little bit more cloning in the set. Except it enters the battlefield with an additional 1/1 counter on it. Activate this on the sorcery. Shut up. Yep, so that was unnecessary. No thanks. Next up, Arachnoform. It's a 2-cost enchantment aura, enchanted creature. Enchanted creature has +2/+2 and has reach and is every creature type. Because that's not proven to be inherently broken. Did you know that the changeling ability was like an 8 on the storm scale, and the reasons that they gave the multiple times that it was like placed at 8 were extremely valid and proving to already be problematic in this set? That's why you don't go shopping for mechanics on the top of the storm scale, you stupid, ignorant, clueless Wizards of the Coast designers. So next up, Colossal Plow, which is somehow a vehicle. Okay, that wouldn't be the first one I would steal in GTA 5, but okay. It is a 2-drop 6/3 though. Okay. And then whenever it attacks, add 3 white mana to your mana pool and you gain 3 life. Until end of turn, you don't lose mana as steps and phases end. And then crew 6. So that's interesting. Obviously, it's the companion card to the Ox that can, it's a 0/6 or whatever, and it can crew with its toughness. I don't know. We'll see if somebody plays it. I mean, pretty damn good vehicle, but crew 6. Next up is Sent to the Worthy. It's a 3-cost. Choose a creature you control. Until your next turn, all damage that would be dealt to creatures you control is dealt to that creature instead. Really? Twice? Oh, that poor creature. If somebody plays this with that bullshit new red goblin stuffy doll, I'm going to throw a chair. And then third, we got return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a flying counter on it. That creature is an angel warrior in addition to its other types. Great. So a free resurrector for 3. I mean, yeah, it's 3 turns removed, but what are you going to do about it? Clear the graveyard, hold a removal spell? Maybe, hopefully. I mean, yeah, this is odd. Next up, Doomscar Titan. It's 6-cost 4/4, Giant Berserker. And honestly, this is so blurry and weird it looks fake, but I'll go with it. So on Twitter, this was spoiled by Christian Hawk. Christian, what the hell did you do to this? This isn't difficult. They send you an image of the card and then you show it to people at the time they tell you to. Where in that 2-step process did you find like 1B and code it like absolute shit? Anyway, it's a 6-cost Giant Berserker. When it enters the battlefield, creatures you control gain +1/+0 and haste until end of turn, and then foretell 5. So pretty useless. Very overcosted. Next up, Litjara. I'm already sick of saying that. Glade Warden. It's 4-cost 3/3 shapeshifter with Changeling, which never should have been brought back. And cost 3, tap it, exile a creature card from your graveyard, put 2 1/1 counters on target creature, activate this ability only anytime you cast a sorcery. So that's going to get out of control real quick if you can keep supplying it with bodies. And that's it for today. Don't forget to tune in for more. Okay, fine. Fine. F***ing Fynn the Fangbearer. 2-cost, absolute ass clown, legendary douchebag creature, human warrior, and disgrace to mankind. He has death touch, but that pales in comparison to what I'm going to do when I get my hands on him. I'm going to rip him in half, light the card on fire, and take a piss on the ashes. I hope he dies in the story and everyone takes turns dancing on his grave. I haven't read chapter 2 yet, don't spoil it if that happens. So this ingrown hair on humanity's taint says whenever a creature you control with death touch, which by the way, FYI, let me pause right there. There's a death touch is the mechanic deck out there right now, and it is extremely difficult to beat, and it's in Kaladesh or Kaldheim Space Norway, whatever the it's in elf colors. Some of the elves have Death Touch, and they had Death Touch as the mechanic on at least one, maybe two cards so far in the set. So if you want to see the absolute ass crack worst deck that this fucking game can come up with, it is going to be green, black, Death Touch with Captain Jackass at the helm. So anyway, Fynn the fucking Fangbearer asshole piece of fucking ass fake warrior, not wanted in this game or anywhere else, legendary but not even marked as rare or mythic, because you know what? Extra you for Wizard of the Coast on top the shit sandwich says whenever a creature you control with Death Touch deals combat damage to a player, that player gets 2 poison counters. Because why the would it be 1 poison counter? Why wouldn't it be 2? You get hit 5 times, you lose the game. Oh boy, you thought that Death Touch plus if it hits a Planeswalker, the Planeswalker dies would be Mega Death Touch. No, this is Mega Death Touch right here. So I've played against that deck, and I played with a very creature-heavy, like, white weenies, life gain, angel generator shit deck, where, like, all my creatures cost 1 or 2, and then there's a couple 3 bombers in there. With Heliod, with Indestructible, with removal, 14 exile spells, I still couldn't stop the current all-Death Touch deck. Couldn't do it. Not with the multiple Planeswalkers they ran and the backup plans, the Garruk in the background in case they have to resort to that. Then you've got like the card that grants a Death Touch counter. Then you've got the other one that gives everybody Death Touch now from Kaldheim. But like I said, even without Kaldheim, I was having to take hits left and right from Death Touchers because it was either sit there and lose all my creatures in one block and then get hit the next time, or just screw it, take the hit. So what you're going to do when this asshole drops into play is lose all your creatures one turn and then lose the game the next turn. And then when you know you see it coming, because turn 1, 2, and 3, they dropped in a couple Death Touchers, if not him already on turn 2 and your turn 1, which would be an absolute fucking nightmare. So you left a kill spell there and you blow him up, you're just going to hear the opponent bitch and whine and moan and complain and then probably beat you anyway just because all their creatures have Death Touch. Or they'll use snow magic to resurrect them like it's fucking Frozen 3. Or given the shuffler on Arena, they'll just summon the other 3 they're holding. Hey, here's a fun one. If you can clone him and bypass the legendary, which is still doable, spark duplicates out, but that helmet's still legal. I don't know. There's other ways to do it. I know there's other ways to do it. Yeah, that goes off twice. That trigger, you hit them once, they gain 4 poison counters. Just FYI, just a fun little aside for you to contemplate while you're contemplating if you should keep playing this game. So yeah, nobody wanted this, nobody asked for this. This is quite possibly going to have to be banned due to just sheer community outrage. They probably right now, with what I'm sure is the backlash online, because poison is one of the most, the biggest mistakes in the history of the game, one of the most hated mechanics there is. It's hated even more than mill. If you play Modern and people figure out you're playing Infect, they are just going to get up and leave. They will pick up their cards and leave, and you'll be lucky if they don't try to assault you on the way out. The worst part is they threw this in at uncommon, okay? The most expensive uncommon that I know of that was printed in any set, including the master sets, in the last, 7 or 8 years, I believe, is how far my last buy list went. The most expensive uncommon that I've ever seen was $6 recently. I'm sure there's older ones and, just saying. But normal trim, non-promo, non-limited edition, non-foiled, non-special frame. So this guy, even if he is the new absolute leader of the modern Infect decks and whoever else plays in whatever else format, if you do, you're an asshole, by the way. He's still going to be like a $2, $3, $4 card. Maybe $6. I'd be shocked if he was $10. Aether Hub was like, what, $4? A mandatory 4 of in any energy deck. And energy was dominant for the full 2 years that it was legal, or 1.5 or whatever, and then they banned it like the week before it rotated out or whatever the hell happened. At least that's what it felt like in my memory. So yeah, they didn't include this as like, oh, this will be a $30, $40, $50 card that props up the value of the whole set, because people who play Infect will now obviously play him. Because bare minimum, he triggers himself. It's a 2-cost self-contained Infect card. You boost him, it doesn't do any more Infect damage, but still. It's 2 at a time and he's a 2-drop. That's not that bad. And then Death Touch for defense. I'd throw him in a modern deck if I played Infect, if I was a complete asshole. So no, they didn't even throw this in here for value. They threw this in here for spite, okay? Mark Rosewater probably designed Poison. It was one of the most hated things ever. I'm sure he also designed Changeling, which, like I said, was an 8 on the Storm scale, and he thought, I'm going to do it right this time. He has said in multiple interviews, multiple statements on social media lately, I want to bring Infect back. I'd like to take a second shot at it. That is paraphrased what he said, and here it is. He has such a big yet fragile ego that if anybody doesn't like his massive string of failures that he's had over the years of designing Magic cards, he will sit there and just debate and push until everybody says, fine, you can bring back this stupid toxic shit. Don't screw it up as poorly this time, okay? That's what everybody else at Wizards of the Coast says he is like. They, quote, try to rein him in, but, quote, he is very persistent, was what I heard from one of the ex-employees. So he wants to bring it back and everybody say, wow, it really worked this time. It wasn't inherently bad. You did design a good mechanic. There is nothing good about me starting the fucking game with 10 life because you decided to play poison, okay? That's bullshit. There is nothing mathematically sound about that. It's like Companion. It never would work. It never should work, and it's never going to work. The math behind it, the strategy, the giving people 8 starting cards is too good. So that's literally what it is. Oh, because I chose to play Infect, you get to start the game with this emblem that you can't remove that says you start the game with 10 life. So I only need to hit you for 10 now instead of 20. Fairness, yay! Infect is bullshit. It should be a 15 on the storm scale, and they never should have brought it back. But he's going to absolutely just bring back every single damn thing above 7 on the storm scale until it sticks, or he has to, go on a Twitter rampage for 19 hours straight and then finally apologize. Because that's what happened with Companion. If you don't know, Companion was rejected from 2 earlier sets. Or one earlier, it's 1 or 2. They just told him, no, it's not going to work. And then he's like, no, it's going to work. It's my idea and it's going to work. They don't just need to fire Mark Rosewater. They need to sue him for damages at this point. They need to say that we just realized you were behind everything that's gone wrong in this company for since you started working here, basically. You have designed all these shit mechanics, all this game rooting trash. You were behind cards that are on multiple ban lists. And all we hear from you, all the community hears, is your bullshit statements about how you want to push it further. You're too scared of the community being bored. You'd rather risk pushing the power level too high because then at least you tried. Well, then at least you ruined the game for a year and then nobody wants to play it and you lose millions of dollars. Whoopsies! Maybe you shouldn't do that. Maybe you shouldn't push the power level too high. Maybe you should just do a predictable, nice, level-headed set so that we can all just sit down and play some enjoyable Magic. What the tap dancing is wrong with that? But no, Mark's got to push it and push it and push it because he craves that. Oh, look at this thing that Mark came up with. Look at this new mechanic. That's so cool. Isn't he great? Like he's just obsessed. He literally has a mental illness. He is so addicted to praise from the community. He is so egotistical and so fragile. He lets it override math, like what anybody else tells him. He's like an addict. Like literally, if some people are like, hey, heroin's ruining your life, and they're like, no, it's fine. I can control it. It's fine. I can stop anytime. That's Mark Rosewater, but with the adoration of the community, which is why he has his own little blog and his own little Twitter. And then if he does like somebody says, he just blocks them. And then, oh, in my own little pretend manufactured world bubble, everybody loves me. Yay. And then Infect comes around and people are like, this is the worst thing I have ever seen in my life. He's like, oh, people don't like me. What do I do? What do I do? And he's like, I'll bring it back and I'll do it right the next time. There is no way to do Infect right. It is the most hated mechanic by over 10 million people who play the game for a good reason, because we can all see what you can't, which is that it is mathematically fundamentally flawed. And it's not fun. It's a bullshit mechanic to play against. And the way you brought it back here is ridiculous. I thought he was just going to sneak it in to be a little troll, little taunt, little FU to the community where it'll be like, an enchantment that costs 5 and then every upkeep your opponent gains a poison counter. Oh no, you're going to lose the game in 10 turns. Oh no. But nope, you can lose the game in 1 turn with this piece of shit. This is it. This is going to be the straw that broke the camel's back that drove everyone off of Arena. If this catches on for 1 fucking second, everybody's out. We've already fucking had it with Mill. We have fucking had it with cycling. We have fucking had it with rogues. I've personally fucking had it with 3-color Esper control. I am sick of green drawing 10 cards on 1 turn and casting them all. And then if you add just Death Touch and you die, Death Touch now affects players ×2. That's it. Nobody's left. Pre-ban this piece of shit, and whoever designed it, fire them. Whoever approved it, fire them. Whoever play tested with this, fire them. Anybody involved with this card, fire them. Fucking fire the artist for all I give a shit. This was a mistake, and this is going to be millions of dollars in losses in 1 fucking card because Mark Rosewater refuses to seek therapy for his mental adoration addiction and his stupid fucking obsessions and his gigantic fucking ego. I actually hope that Mark catches some kind of disease that prevents him from doing his job and he has to retire at this point. What else is it gonna fucking take? How many more lost users, how many more lost millions of dollars is it gonna take before you realize that this fucking idiot needs to get the fuck out of the company? What is it going to take, Hasbro? What the fuck is it going to take, Wizards of the Coast? I am not fucking doing this. I am not going to touch this set. I'm not spending one single fucking penny on this. I don't care if this is the best-selling set ever and I can make millions of dollars. It is not worth it on pure principle. I'm not going to play standard after this shit is in here unless it's just to troll people with a fucking cycling deck and win on turn 5. Or just some control-a-thon dream trawler shit just to piss people off. And just to remind people to educate them on how shit this game is now. Otherwise, it's all brawl format. And, well, I mean, I guess you could make this your brawl commander, couldn't you? I guess you can't escape this piece of shit. I guess I should just uninstall Arena right fucking now. I recommend you do the same. And get on social media right now because we have time to absolutely blow this up with the worst backlash their company has ever seen. Tag Hasbro in it, tag the different Hasbro sub-accounts in it, marketing, PR, I don't give a shit. Management, anybody you can find, people's personal shit that work there. We need to absolutely blow this shit up on multiple platforms so that people can just start giving some attention to what these clueless ass clown fucking morons are doing to the game and the fact that something needs to be done until Hasbro comes in and realizes, oh shit, oh my God, they've been ruining the game. They drove away 75% of the users and they made up the sales with a bunch of bullshit collectible secret layers. And they've been lying to us and telling us everything's good because the money keeps rolling in. When the game's on its fucking deathbed. Whoopsies. We need attention from those hell, call them up, contact them directly. Call up their customer support and just say, hey, I'd like to speak to you about an issue with your little subsidiary here. It's been like 4 or 5 years of them ruining standard. Let's get this done. Let's fucking fix it because it's either that or we abandon it. And I don't know if you knew this or not, this is my full fucking time job and my gaming channel ain't doing shit. So I'd prefer to have the game fixed so that, I can enjoy playing it again since I've been invested, 8 years in it. Spend $250,000 on buying and reselling their product. That's all. Made an entire YouTube channel with 50,000 subscribers, nonstop talking about and giving them free marketing. I feel like they owe me at this point to not do this to the game. I don't care who you have to tweet at, write a damn letter, email, who gives a shit. We need to do something. I am done sitting around. If you're done sitting around, you got nothing better to do, start contacting fucking everybody about Wizards' latest activities. You want to really get their attention? Bring up the fact that the head of story for D&D is a fucking pedophile who has now quite possibly caused them 2 separate lawsuits by cutting off and unfairly treating 2 of their contractors. Why haven't they fired him yet? Does he have the HR management staff's children locked up in his basement? I wouldn't be surprised. What the fuck is even going on at that company? I wouldn't be surprised. Liberals just literally do not have brains. They're incapable of thinking for themselves and they have a skewed, demented, fucked up way of viewing everything. They don't know what's going on. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. And now they took over media, government, and they're ruining the entire country and the entire fucking world. So it's not just Wizards that I'm pissed at. And it's not just Infect that I'm pissed at. I'm pissed at that entire archetype of person who needs to be just pressured by society out of society, period. In the 70s, they got rid of the hippies, thank God. In the 50s, they mostly got rid of the communists, although they're back. Everybody's saying, let's all get together, there's too much division. No, start treating all the dumbass far-left liberals who are just cluelessly bumbling through their life and ruining everything they touch. Start giving them a little wake-up call. Start treating them more in line with how they should be if you want them to correct their actions. This expands way outside of Wizards of the Coast, but yeah, fuck this game. It's over for them. They brought Infect back. That's it. That's the line. Goodbye. Maybe I'll show up to your bankruptcy auction, Wizards. You fucking idiots.